Paul moved into this land about a year ago, and since then he has built a completely off-grid lifestyle here. In the process, he built the house, created the infrastructure, and landscaped the land. He did everything himself, step by step. In this video, you will see everything Paul did during this process, from start to finish.
Moving. There she goes.
Paul will generate electricity, a fundamental need for off-grid living in this way. He unfolds the foldable solar panel and positions it towards the sun. Paul first prepares a simple but sturdy campsite to stay in. He places support blocks on the ground and builds a wooden platform on top. This platform provides both a level surface and insulation from moisture and soil. At this stage, Paul brings a prefabricated cabin and places it on the land. Although the exterior is complete, the interior is entirely empty. In the next phase, this empty space will gradually transform into a habitable home. Paul creates an enclosed and controlled space by constructing a simple structure. He uses this space to collect organic waste and manage the composting process. Paul begins by insulating the interior of the structure to make it habitable. He places insulation materials in the wall and floor cavities. Then, he gradually shapes the interior space by sealing the walls. Paul is continuing with the interior finishing work. He's filling in the joints of the drywall surfaces and smoothing them out. This is necessary to ensure the walls and ceiling have a smooth appearance. Paul is preparing natural materials for an additional structure he will use on the property. He cuts down trees, cleans the bark, and turns them into posts. He secures these posts to the ground to create a sturdy frame. Then, he completes the top, creating an open wooden structure. Paul is installing a simple shower system, a basic necessity on the property. He's creating an outdoor shower area. Paul begins completing the interior surfaces. He paints the walls, making the space brighter and cleaner. Then he lays the floor covering, giving the space its final form. He begins constructing the deck to create an entrance area at the front of the house. First, he places the support posts into the ground and installs the supporting system. These posts ensure the deck is sturdy and stable. The process of building a fence around the garden is also ongoing. Paul is completing the deck construction step by step. First, he installs the supporting beams, creating a solid frame. Then, he lays the top planks, covering the surface. He also starts building a similar deck at the back of the house. He applies the same system he used at the front here as well. Paul is adding a roof to the top of the deck to make it more usable. Off-grid living isn't just about building a house. This lifestyle requires more effort, but it also offers complete independence. Every step Paul takes is essentially part of establishing this independent system. Paul is preparing a special area inside for the heating system. He's creating a safe surface for the stove by laying durable stones on the floor. This area is being carefully prepared to provide heat protection. In an off-grid lifestyle, every system must be self-sufficient. Paul uses a wood-burning stove instead of electricity to meet his heating needs. This system makes it possible to live without relying on external sources. Off-grid living requires living in harmony with nature. The system Paul has established works in harmony with nature, not against it. And this lifestyle makes people a part of nature. Paul begins constructing a separate platform to expand his living space. He places support blocks into the ground and erects a wooden frame on top. This structure forms the foundation for the kitchen. Paul is completing the platform he's prepared for the kitchen area. He's covering the floor to create a solid and flat surface. Then he starts installing the ready-made wall panels. Paul begins completing the roof of the kitchen structure. He places the cladding materials over the roof frame, completely covering the top. Paul continues to develop this living space which he built from scratch, step by step. This process doesn't end here. On the contrary, it grows even more every day. If you'd like to see this lifestyle more closely and follow the continuation of the process, you can find much more detail by visiting Paul's YouTube channel. The channel links are in the description.